Hi YouTubers, it's Karen May from Oklahoma, and I am going to talk a little bit about behavioral health centers is what they're normally called. They're because they deal with drug and alcohol addiction and mental disorders and a number of other things too. And this subject is so broad. There's so much to say about it. I'm not going to be able to put everything into one video. So I'll probably do a series on the subject. But I call them mental hospitals. Anyway, I have mental illness, which so many people deal with. I've said it before, I'll say it again, it is an epidemic in our, in the world, especially in our country. It's staggering. But there comes a time when things get really difficult and you may have to consider going into one. There's no shame in that. You shouldn't be ashamed, but you can't help but feel that way because of the stigma attached to mental illness, and then somebody knowing that you've been in a mental facility makes it, even worse, on you with friends and sometimes family. Just people in general. There's just not a lot of understanding, but there's so many organizations trying to make awareness, to talk about it so people won't be so afraid, but it's not something that everybody can deal with. And anyway, I have suffered with it from childhood. I have posted, quite a few withdrawal videos on, cutting back on my medications. If any of you have been following me, I still have some more to put on there, a few more. But anyway, I was going to talk about mental hospitals. I live in Oklahoma, and unfortunately here, I've been in 3 different ones, and the state of Oklahoma health care is really very poor. I'm not saying maybe they're not the worst, but if I've been 5 times, twice to the same one in Texas, which is above all the 3 that I've been in Oklahoma. It is an experience you will not find easy by no means, because if you sign yourself in, if you're fortunate enough to sign yourself in and not be put in one, which I have both ways, you sign yourself in. I didn't know that you could sign yourself out. Legally, I think that is the way it's supposed to be, but of course I did not know that at the time when the psychiatrist or the care was that bad that I should have left. But nobody informed me, and so I found myself trapped and finding myself having to actually say anything, you know, even though I was still in bad shape, to get out of there. You are going to feel caged up, which you are. The first time I went in, I lost it completely within a couple hours, because basically these places, they have a staff, you know, that are behind this desk, and you're not allowed to hang out at this desk, but they're so busy, preoccupied with paperwork, that it is next to impossible to get anybody to help you. So the first time I went in one, I couldn't get any attention, I couldn't get any help, and I lost it. I meant I completely lost it. I'm not normally that kind of a person, but I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. Nobody informed me of anything. Nobody paid me any mind. I, you know, couldn't get any help. So you know, went into an outburst of anger and demanded that they call my husband and that he would come and get me and get me out of there. I mean, I threw such a fit. I went ballistic. I really did. And I, you know, even though I think I was on the second or third floor, all I could think about was taking a chair and throwing it through the window to escape, you know. But I couldn't. But that's what I wanted to do, and who knows, if somebody hadn't intervened, there's no telling, I might have done that. But they didn't put me in a straitjacket. They didn't put me in a rubber room, and they did not put me on a bed and strap me with leather straps. They gave me a shot. And let me tell you something. It didn't knock me out, but I was so high. I felt so, I mean, it calmed me down immediately, but it tripped me out. And then two staff, which I think were like supervisors, you know, came to my room and spent some time with me, talking to me. And I'll never forget that as long as I live. That was my first experience, and I must say that that really made a difference, that somebody cared that much. Two men, you know, came and spent time with me. So after that, you know, the way it works, you always share a room with somebody, and you know, the women are in one wing. I mean, we're all mixed. I mean, we can mingle, but we have separate wings. But I learned the ropes there. You know, you learn more from the patients that have been there, or maybe have been there many times, you know, and they're the ones that really help you to know what, you know, the schedules. And you always need a watch, but it has to be a plastic watch. So I had like a Miss Kitty watch or something. My husband got me plastic watch, because you got to watch the time, because there's constant group sessions around the clock, you know. And then, you know, of course there's there, thank God, you could smoke, because I was a smoker. I still am, of course, trying to quit, but, you know, and I'm telling you, people with mental illness that smoke, that's the last thing you need, is to be suffering with withdrawals on top of everything else. And so at this place, it's Red River in Wichita Falls, Texas. I highly recommend, you know, for anybody that lives in Texas or on the border like me in Oklahoma. It's not that far away. You have breaks. You get, I think it's 3 or 4 breaks, cigarette breaks, and you actually get to go, you know, to a beautiful outdoor, great big patio where you can play basketball. They've got, you know, these cool picnic tables with umbrellas, and a winter room out there where you can smoke and be outside in the fresh air and just hang out with whoever you start getting close to. You know, we have our little groups, you know. And that made the experience a whole lot better, let me tell you. I meant to be able to go outside and smoke and just hang out for a while. I think it should be mandatory that all mental or behavioral health centers allow people who smoke to be able to smoke. But in the state of Oklahoma, it's banned. You can't smoke in a public place anywhere. Anywhere. You know, cigarette smokers get a bad rap. They really do. But alcoholics, it's okay to be drunk, but you can't smoke cigarette here. Anyway, I gotta say, you know, most of the time people, you know, some of these places like I've been in, the food was okay or really bad. Really bad. Or in this case, it was really good. You know, that's the other thing you look forward to more than anything, is going to eat. You know, going to eat. And then the selection of food, you know, it's cafeteria style. That makes all the difference in the world. You get to go outside and smoke, or play ball, or whatever. You know, you get good food. You can't wait to go. And it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know, of course they got snacks. You know, in between times. And there's coffee, and there's tea, and you can go, when you go to smoke, you can go to the snack machines and get, you know, sodas and all kinds of snacks, you know, and stuff, and bring back with you, which is cool, you know. But I'm telling you, that's the only place that I've been to twice that offered any of that. But that first experience, it was, you know, me calling on the phone, which is, you know, like I said, there is so much to say about these facilities that I can't get it all in 1, 2, 3, videos. But anyway, I could start from the beginning and go straight to the end of just one, of just the process. You're stripped of everything. Some places you can have some clothes of your own. In some cases, you have to wear scrubs. Everybody wears scrubs. They have a laundry room. And it's always groups all day long, which gets tedious, to keep up with or even sit through sometimes, because they want you to participate. The more you participate, the more you go, the quicker you're going to get out of there, and then seeing a psychiatrist, if you're lucky, because you have to wait in line. It's usually first thing in the morning. If you're lucky, before breakfast, to see a psychiatrist, and it's not like 5 minutes. You're herded through like cattle, and everybody is scrambling to get in to see them. They don't know enough about you to be able to treat you properly, which is another very bad thing about these places. You can't get diagnosed and get the right medications and get squared away. You just can't. And usually the length of time is a week at the most, unless they get a court order, or you want to stay long, you volunteer to stay longer. You're usually going to be out of there. Sometimes the rec room, where there's TV, sometimes there's some videos, maybe some CDs. Everybody's fighting, for a place to sit, if there's enough places for everybody. Some places have 2 rooms, Usually the guys will hang out and watch sports, and the women will stay in the other room, and and everybody trying to take turns watching what they want to watch. And to pass the time is very difficult. There is a lot of tension there. Everything is regulated extremely. It's very difficult. It's even more of a challenge than what you're actually going through at home, where you have all your freedom. Everything's taken away. You can't shower, you can't shave without supervision. They watch you like a hawk. And like I said, there's so much to say. It's like I should, make notes or something. But it's like one flew over the cuckoo's nest. It really is. That's no joke. I am really serious about that. My first experience, that's exactly what it was like, and even several after that. Some of them were so bad that it was horrible. You get misdiagnosed. You're given drugs that don't work or do the opposite. You can't get help. Some of the staff can be very ugly to you, which I've had happen. I've been, insulted. belittled, uh, made to feel ashamed. It's really a horrible experience. It's never fun, never. And I can tell you this, that your doctors and your psychiatrists, they may know of a place, recommend a place, but when you ask them what it's like, they can't tell you, because none of them have, you know, they've never been in there, you know. They can't tell you a thing, so you end up going in there blind, not knowing what to expect, unless you've been to the same place. Unfortunately, I ended up in 3 places, 2 against my will, and that'll be another story, where you're taken into protective custody, which is not a good thing. Boy, oh boy, could I tell you about that. Have you ever been handcuffed, shackled, or whatever, you know, and carried in a squad car for an hour to a place, you know? You're treated like a criminal. You're handcuffed to your bed in the hospital. You have to be evaluated. You could be there, you know, all day or all night waiting for that. It's horrible the way you're treated. It really is. It is like you're a criminal. That's the way some police treat you. And even some staff in the hospital, and especially these mental places, it's a very horrible experience. But I gotta say, if you're that desperate, you don't have a choice. I want to break it down next time a little bit more for you, to give you an idea of what you're getting into when you go. Because I don't want anything I say to keep you, if you're in a desperate situation, from going. You know, I certainly don't want to do that, because it could save your life. But going in there blind and not knowing nothing, because there's so many restrictions, you know, when you go in one of these places. It's scary. It'll scare grown men. You know, you want to see a grown man cry, you will. Believe me. And you are thrown in there with every disorder that you could think of, so you could go crazy. That's what I meant, one over the cuckoo's nest. You could go crazy just because of the different people with these major serious schizophrenia and all kinds of stuff, just doing, I mean, it's unbelievable, some of the things that I've experienced. It makes you think, what the heck am I doing here, you know? I don't belong here. But unfortunately, you're there for a reason. Or you wouldn't sign yourself in, or you wouldn't be put in there. But anyway, we'll get into that in my next video. I'll try to break it down a little better for you. So with that, I just want to thank you again for watching my videos, my withdrawals videos, which I said before I haven't finished putting up. But I've been making these too long, which isn't a good thing, I think, for YouTube and it takes too long to upload them. So with that, I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you keep watching, and please leave a comment, ask me a question about anything, and I'm sure that I can give you an answer. You know, I can't solve anything for anybody, but you know, I've been through a lot, like I said before, and there's probably nothing you can't ask me that, you know, I won't have something that I can share with you or tell you. So with that, I say thank you again for watching. I hope you subscribe to my channel. If you just watch it, you know, that's great. You know, it makes it worth it. So I want to say goodbye. Karen from Oklahoma. Thank you.